All right, we're live. We're back. Panic Riddled podcast. Boys, Jeff, Diego, thank you for joining. You guys excited for this season?
I mean, from what it looks like now, no, not really. I mean, it just gets worse and worse. We get, Steve Cooper, which I'm slowly accepting, but now with this whole news about KDH going to be apparently going to either Brighton or Chelsea, it just ruined the whole expectation of what, I think was going to happen this season. Now I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with Jeff on that. Uh, I don't think Cooper was in our minds at the beginning at all. I think it was always between Colbrand um, and Potter. Although I genuinely wanted Colbrand to come to Leicester, so that was a disappointment. Whatever we got Steve Cooper. I read like an article through the Athletic, I think it was that, where I think he said that he was really assessing his own management style, and he looked okay. Like he critiqued the sides of what he did back at Forest, and he just wanted to improve at, and it seems like he wants to play attacking football, which I think is a good thing. I think it'll benefit us. But obviously with the KDH deal and what's going on, if we bring in Motter, I don't think that's too good. I don't enjoy it, especially the valuation of like 25 million. I think that that's very little for what I think KDH is worth, at least at the moment. So I think that's disappointing. Obviously, we'll see what Chelsea decides to do, if they hijack the deal or not. But yeah, it is a little bit frustrating at the moment.
It's very frustrating, and I'm with Jeff. I'm still trying to come to acceptance with Cooper. But Diego, I think it was you actually that said in the group chat earlier that Moda had only played like 3 or 4 games as an attacking midfielder. He's particularly played as a six. I believe it was you that said that.
I think
So
it was. Yeah.
if that's the case, then that pretty much confirms what we all were expecting, that indeed he's possibly out the door and that position needs to be replaced. And then maybe we're waiting for after July 1st to bring in some attacking midfielders and some with the new financial year term. So how do you feel about that, Jeff? Like, do you think we're just going to see a bit of a fire sale then after July 1st? Hopefully we can bring in some players ourselves, because it's going to be needed now, mate. And I was hoping to build around Dewsbury Hall, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, KDH is a big factor in the team, and definitely the playmaker, and the only one that has pretty much shown that he's the difference maker all season long last season. And now with him gone, and apparently a swap deal for Jacob Motor, who's at Brighton, it's not an even swap, not even by a close mile. Like, he's not even a playmaker, based on the stats that Glenn posted in the group chat. So I don't know what's going on with the board and what they're trying to tell us, because we're not getting any positive out of KDH leaving and getting this player that I have no clue who he is and whether he's played or not for Brighton, to say the least. So yeah, it's going to be one interesting transfer window, but they better get it right, or else we're going straight back down in no time.
Straight back down, running the club the Rudkin way. Diego, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's just disappointing. I think we obviously wanted to see something better. I don't. I had the idea that probably Enzo would try to poach him. I mean, clearly he liked KDH while he was at Leicester, so I'm not surprised by that. But I think I definitely am surprised that we would ask for so little cash in that deal. I've known Motter for a while now. I think obviously I think most people started knowing him back when he was breaking out in Euro 2020, but that was 4 years ago. I mean, we're literally in another European Championship right now, so I think that just tells you, I think, how low his stock has kind of gone down in like the last 4 years, basically since he broke out. So I think it is disappointing. Uh, but like I said, I think it's all going to be up to Chelsea to see if they hijack the deal. And then we'll see what happens in July 1st. I think in terms of players, I think we've seen that we've been linked with Hanko and other types of players before Enzo left. So I think we'll probably make a couple signings. I just think that you want them to be the right ones, and I'm not even sure if that's. I think being seen in the right light at the moment.
Yeah, that's a very good point, mate. Like, what's interesting is if it is look, let's say if it weren't going to go to Chelsea and it were to be a straight swap, does that mean that one, we get a little bit of money to balance the books, but the deal is people say it's not really worth his money and it's not, but we're not technically spending money, I believe, maybe if we get Motor. So we've technically replaced a holding, defensive midfielder and made 25 million. And then we're going to probably look at start spending it after the 1st of July. We've been linked with Callum O'Hare. So maybe we already had midfielders lined up and this kind of saves money. I don't know. And again, at what cost? Because I believe, as you guys said, I don't know much about him either. But I do know he's been out of a knee injury for a year and he's not played much football over the last few seasons, which is a massive red flag. And if he were to be injured, then who else plays that role? With the squad we've got right now, Jeff.
Yeah, no, like you said, he's been injured. Literally, it was the first thing that popped up when I looked him up on Google. It was like, is he still injured? There was a question someone asking. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, there you go. That pretty much sums up who this player is. And yeah, with the links that we've been having apparently with O'Hare and stuff, like that was that. I wanted to be able to work around KDH, but now with O'Hare, we're kind of just all right, like kind of testing it. Perhaps if we get him to be a starter, on our side, and really no one to kind of guide him to how we play in the style. So like I said, we're just I don't know what's going on right now, but like I said, KDH is a big piece of the team, and if there's no one there to pretty much for him to guide a new player, we're kind of just testing the waters now to see whether this works or not, and most likely it will, because we're going to bring in someone that's doesn't have any Premier League experience into the Premier League now, and I just think it's not gonna go well.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Diego?
I think I see where Jeff's going with it. I think we also have to remember that Winks is in the side too. I think Winks was pretty good for us most of the season last season. I think the question will be if he could keep up with the pace of the Premier League. I think at Tottenham, I think he was okay. So I think it'll be his big test to see if he could keep up again with the Premier League. I think he probably can, but I think we do need that defensive midfielder, and I just don't really see Mater being that. I know from what I know, he's more of a box-to-box midfielder. Can't really play that cam role, so I don't know. I don't really like that deal at all. Or if, like I said, if we were to get someone else as a player cash swap, I think it would be someone better. I think like I told you, Luke, I think like a Facundo Bonanote would be a good decision. I think they probably don't want to do that because he's a valuable asset for them. But I definitely think that we probably could have looked in for other players if that was the case rather than Mater. So I don't know. I think like I said, I think we just have to hope and pray that Chelsea come and hijack this deal, or if not, then I think yeah, I think it's not really looking that good for us.
If Chelsea are to come in and hijack the deal, I'll start with you, Jeff. How much money would you say is appropriate?
Oh, minimum 70.
70?
Minimum 70 mil, yeah.
That would be wild if we sold him for 70 because, one, it's Chelsea, so make them pay. But, like, we sold Maddison and Barnes. I think Barnes was an appropriate amount of money that we got. Maddison was peanuts. You guys know well from the group chat, I love Maddison. I think he's top echelon. I don't care what anyone says. I'm still cut that he left. I knew he was going to leave, but I love Matters. And we got he was worth 70. If Grealish is worth 100 million, then for fuck's sakes, bro, James Maddison's worth at least 70, dude. Like, come on, man. Let's be honest here. But we got him in quick, and we got that money so we could spend the money. So, yeah, I don't think we'll get 70. What do you think, Diego? What's your price tag on Keenan Gisby-Hall?
I'll be honest. I think I was saying like 45, and if we want to stretch it, we could say 50 or even 55. But if I'm gonna be completely honest, I think it would be nice if we do maybe like 40 mil and a player swap deal. Like I was thinking like Andre Santos. I don't know if you know of him, Brazilian. He plays cam. I think it would be very interesting to bring him along with if it's a cash swap deal, since he's been out on loans for like 2 loans already at Chelsea.
Yep.
So I think it would be a good deal. I think he has a lot of promise. Obviously, hasn't gotten game time because of Chelsea and how deep they are in terms of a squad depth. So I think that would be a really good pickup for us. So I see that. But if it's straight up money, I think I would even go as far as to saying like 50 million. I think that's a fair valuation.
I think so too. I would love it, Jeff, to get 70 million, but I think anywhere between 40 and 55, I think is reasonable, particularly the stats that he just had. Now, going to what you were saying before, Jeff, who the fuck knows what's going on right now. I think it was all in 1 week, lads. We've had Dewsbury Hall come out and say that he doesn't want to go anywhere. He's a Leicester lad. He wants to stay. And then there was talks of even Cooper even giving him a phone call already and like having a conversation about the season, probably what he expects and what he likes about Keenan, trying to build that rapport. And then all of a sudden now we get news at the end of the week that he's having a medical. So who knows what's going on. What I find strange is it's clearly for money, but you would think that, like, let's talk about Christensen and Samari who are to come back, right? We would think that, one, they're ones we're probably going to want to sell and get money for if we are trying to balance the books, but also B, are they players that Cooper's going to want to come in and see if a preseason, have a look at before we make any hasty decisions. But I just said that he had a conversation in Dewsbury Hall and he was looking to work with him. So it's just surprising to me that that's been done before Samari and Christensen. Jeff, do you want to see them both return to the side, or are they both players that you want to see get sold?
I think Christensen would be one that I want to come back. Just based on who we have at the moment. I think Justin, just coming back to the Premier League, I think he's going to be a tad too just small and short and just experience, because he had an all right season last season in the Championship and just playing Premier League now. I just think he's just been slowly declining. Luke Thomas, without a doubt, needs to be sold. So as far as options and what we have available, Christensen probably would be the best one to kind of keep. Samori is someone that just doesn't show. He's kind of lazy. He doesn't come back. And I did see in a couple of games when he was over in Sevilla, he did demonstrate the same type of ability. And I think that's more of his game, a bit slower pace, but not in the Premier League. So if anything, I said Samori should leave and we should keep Christensen.
Very, very, very good point, Jeff. I'll touch on that in a second. Diego, anything to add to that, mate? What do you think? Your thoughts on Christensen and Samari?
I think I agree with Jeff on the fact that I think Samari should leave. Yeah, I saw him too while he was Sevilla. It's just like, I just think the pace of the Premier League is just too slow for him. I think he is a good player, just not in the Premier League, and I think that we should cash in. Obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if teams in Spain want him, or even back in France. So I think that's something we got to look into and see what his interest is at the moment, if anyone really wants him. And then I think Christensen, yeah, I think I would keep him around too, at least for the preseason. I think he looked good while he was at Bologna. I think that he definitely demonstrated that he was capable of playing in Serie A. I think the question is how will he adapt? I think in the Premier League again. I think he looked okay while he was under Rodgers at the beginning. I think the letdown was obviously us getting relegated, and I think we needed space, so we let him go out on loan. But I obviously seeing how the games, and I think the Euro as well, he does lack a little bit of defensive capabilities, and I think that could be a huge liability. Thinking just in the future and what we're gonna have to be looking at in terms of surviving in the Premier League this season. So I think if you give him the preseason and see what he does, I think it's a good idea, and then you see from there what Cooper thinks of him, or if not, then just sell in January.
Yep, I'm with you. Look, for me personally, I'll start with Samare. There's glimpses of a player there, but I agree with both of you. I think he can be lazy at times, looks a bit uninspiring, and Jeff, you hit the nail on the head. Yes, the league is a lot slower than the Premier League, and that probably suits his play style more. If Enzo was still here, I definitely would like to see what Enzo could get out of him, but he's not. So that leads into Cooper, who most likely is going to play the flat back four, 2 fullbacks and 2 centre backs. Now, if we were to keep JJ, that's probably going to be our left back, or it could be Christensen. Now, Christensen, when he first came in, I liked him. I thought he was really good. He made a lot of good overlapping runs. He would bring Barnes into the game if Barnes was quiet. But because of those overlapping runs, he could sometimes be exposed because, as we both remember, Barnes did not track back. Mavididi does. So I would be very curious to see how Mavididi would work alongside of Christensen on that side of the field. But I believe also, if you remember, I think Christensen, he was real keen on not coming back because, one, he didn't want to play in a back three, and also I believe he thought he was bullied or he didn't see eye to eye with some players. So we don't know who those players are. They could be players that have already left. So, but if he were to be convinced to come back, I would absolutely love to keep Christensen, to be honest, especially if Bologna are going to be just playing hardball. We had a deal in place, I believe, and they want to already lowball us on it. It's got a little bit of Dennis Pratt vibes on it. So if he's adamant he doesn't want to stay, fine, just get him sold. But if he can be convinced, he's one I'd like to hang on to. Other than that, guys, one thing I think we want to talk about before as well is strikers. Jamie Vardy can't play every game in and out. Jeff and I have had conflicting. We started positive and then I think went negative. Jeff, are you happy to keep Patson Daka?
Oh, no, heavens no.
No.
No, I think. I mean, we give him so many chances already. I think at the start of last season, he wasn't given that many chances, and I was like, we need to give Daka some chances. And next thing you know, Maresca played him, so many times after that, and clearly did not do anything. And it just goes to show that it's unfortunately it doesn't fit. He doesn't fit with the team. As much as I love Daka, and when he just started coming on, I was so excited, but it's just not working out, man.
It's not. Diego, what do you reckon?
I agree too. I think when we signed him from Salzburg, I think we were looking at a player that could probably be the successor of Jamie Vardy, and I was very happy too when I saw that we were linked with him and we signed him. But clearly, that's just not been the case. It just everything that I think that kind of highlighted the reasons why we should sign him just dwindled in the last couple of years, and I think that that's not what we need at the moment. It's a shame, but I think we could sell. I think that I remember Palace was interested. I don't know if now under Glasner they're going to want him, but I remember Palace was interested before. So I think that there's some type of, market type of availability for him. So I think that that'd be a good idea to just sell. And I think cash in, although we'll probably not make what we probably paid for him initially, but yeah, I don't really think that we would want Patson to just stay here, and I guess also get frustrated if he doesn't get minutes too. And I think that for the sake of everyone involved, I think it's just better that we move on.
Yeah, I spot on agree. It's been 3 seasons now. We bought him the season that we went into the last time that we were in the Europa League. That's when we spent a lot of money, where it's kind of where we started coming undone. Weren't selling players, but we were buying, we were spending, we were trying to compete with the big six. We got Daka, average first season, had one good game against Spartak Moscow, and everyone got excited. Didn't really see much from him again. Next season was poor. We got relegated, and now he's just had a third season in the league below where you think he should hit the ground running. He had his chance, had a few decent tap-ins, but other than that, I think he's been poor. Jeff, what do you think about Tom Cannon? Are you happy to keep him, or do you want to see a loan move for him? Me personally, I like him. I'd like to actually hang on to him. I think he showed glimpses of brilliance. But if he's not going to be played regularly and we were to hang on to Daka or get another striker, I say loan him. What are your thoughts?
I think we should keep him definitely. I think the short amount of games that he's played, he's done so much more than Daka all season long. He's definitely made some amazing goals. He definitely has a lot of power in his shots. He has quite a decent pace, I'll say that, and strength, of course. And I think Steve Cooper is someone that would want to give chances to those players, those kind of players that necessarily don't come in initially to be a starter. And I think that's why Christensen would be a great fit also to be kept, because I think he will get some minutes and he will get a decent amount of minutes. But yeah, Cannon I definitely would keep, as well as Vardy, and I guess look for a third striker that could perhaps kind of fit the same similarities as Clichy and Nacho, who also departed.
It's like a deep striker that's willing to drop deep, hold the ball up sort of thing. That'd be great. Diego, what are your thoughts on Cannon?
Oh, I think I agree with you guys. I definitely would keep him. I think that he had good glimpses of quality when he was at the championship. I think the question is, could that translate to the Premier League? And I think that's what we probably would want to see. So I think in terms of that, I genuinely agree with you, Luke, and just I think loaning him out to the championship, if we sign up a player in the striker position, I think we need to sign someone in the striker position. It's a must. So I think he just deserves another punt in the championship, maybe another season, and see then and assess then if I think it's worth it to give him the step up to the Premier League, in my opinion.
Perfect, mate. Very well said. And one last thing as well, boys, what do you think of? We keep hearing the likes of Cooper being good with developing youth, and he probably again it's all going to boil down to his preseason. But we keep hearing about Alves and Sammy Braybook possibly being integrated into the side. I personally think no. I think we didn't see them get any minutes. We kept saying this all last season in the league below. If there was any time to be experimenting and trying youth, that was it, and it didn't happen. We saw what happened to Luke Thomas. I was just saying in my stream earlier, he got thrown to the Wolves. The poor lad's now damaged goods in 2 relegation seasons for 2 different teams, and they're not being wanted by Borough in a league below. I don't want to see that happen to these lads and crush their confidence. By all accounts, the ceiling is quite high for Will Alves. Would you guys be happy though? Do you think it's time for them to step up? I believe they both had knee injuries before this all happened as well last season. What do you think, Jeff? Do you think a loan move for them both ASAP in the championship or below, or keep them?
No, I think definitely have them be loaned out. I know with KDH specifically, when he just started out with Rodgers, gave him I think one opportunity in the FA Cup against the Carabao Cup against Arsenal at home, and then from there I guess his decision was to loan them out to Luton, and then he had an amazing season. So definitely, I'd say give him at least some opportunity while the whole summer transfer window lasts. Maybe if we can hold on to one of them or both of them until the last that last week, and then have him play an actual competitive match in the Carabao Cup, which I think will still happen before the window closes. Let's see how he does, and then I guess that's Cooper's decision whether to loan him out.
Bang on. What do you think, Diego?
Yeah, I agree. I think to be honest, we didn't see them enough. We didn't see them at all, and I think that to just throw them in the deep ends would just like you said with Luke Thomas, I think it's just pointless. It's just gonna ruin their confidence, and I think that they deserve to be tested. I would even go as far as to probably saying I think at least one of them probably to send them out on loan to League One. I think it's a step up at least for them. They've been in the academy. I think they have to really play real, I think, gritty football where I think it's a little bit rougher for them, and for them to really get tested. I think that that's probably the route for them to go. And that's what I think I want to see. I think one of them could get a loan to a championship club. I think I could see that. But I think either way, I think a loan to the championship or below would be a good fit for both of them.
I spot on agree. I'm just Googling right now. I think Alves is only 18.
Yeah.
He's 19, so he's young. So yeah, definitely needs to play men's football soon. Something I also mentioned to segue after what you just said, Diego, in terms of set pieces is something else that I think that we're missing as well. What do you guys think? I don't think we saw one set piece goal all last season. It was the one place we didn't look threatening at all. That's one player that we saw need to be bringing in terms of an attacking midfielder into the side as well, Jeff.
Yeah, I think the closest is either between Mavadidi and the Winks at the moment, who could perhaps score on on a free kick. So either we bring someone. I don't know how O'Hare is if we are going to get him, but yeah, definitely we need someone that can be detrimental in those set pieces.
Yep. What do you think? What do you think, Diego?
I think, yeah, of course. I think it would be nice to get a set piece taker. I don't think we've had a definitive set piece taker like that since I think Matters left the club. So I think I would love for us to bring a set piece taker. Uh, on top of that, I mean, we're looking at, I think, improving that department. Obviously, I think we Cooper was looking, or I think he already signed the set piece coach, which I think was something that was more than evident that we needed back like almost 2-3 years ago. So I think that's an improvement. But yeah, 100%. I think we need someone who obviously has I think the characteristic, the quality, and I think the personality to take those and be confident. And I would love for us to probably for it to be that cam position if that's what Cooper's gonna run and he's gonna run that 4-2-3-1. I think it would be nice for it to be a cam. But anyways, I think we need a set piece taker, and I think that'd be nice to bring into the club.
Yeah, me too, mate. And if Keenan Gisby Hall going as well, we're going to need one or two of them. And it's, yeah. And I'll be very also interested to see how Madsen Manson plays as well. Is he still going to come out as far as he did? Like, are we going to utilize his sweeping keeping abilities? That remains to be seen. Jeff, anything else you want to bring up, mate? Do you want to cover anything else you want to rant about or vent about the state of this club?
Well, I'd say, from what's been happening the past hours, we got to get moving too. We like with the whole winter transfer about the Inter player, like that took so long just for us to hear that he's not coming. But now when it comes to a good player from our team going somewhere else, that happens instantly. So, we got to start making moves. We got to start signing players. Still, we haven't gotten any confirmation about Fatawu getting that permanent, deal signed. So I don't know what's that. Why is that taking a long time? So like I said, we just got to keep moving. We're going into July. August comes the friendlies, or I think we have one in late July. So we gotta get a team going to start building some sort of system for next season.
Spot on, mate. I'll touch on that in a second. Diego, anything you want to bring up as well?
Yeah, of course. I think we just, as much as it kind of hurts to say that, I think we just have to be patient. I mean, like I said, I think Chelsea could hijack this deal. Modern might not even come. So I think we just have to look at it and see what we have. I think like you pulled up. Yeah, that's a interesting. I think preseason, only 2 preseason games, which is very interesting. I think we would have at least had 3, maybe even 4. So I mean, I can understand. I think, well, obviously, Euros coming in and all that stuff. I think, yeah, Cooper would have probably wanted 3 or 4 games, but it is what it is. I think we just have to wait. I mean, to be honest, I think we've been linked with a couple players. I mean, we know that we're always linked to a bunch of other players when we like never sign them. So we'll see. But I think that the scouting department's trying to do their work right now, and I think that they did pretty well last time around. We just obviously didn't have the funds to sign anyone, so I think that from what I've heard, I think it won't be that bad. I think it's just waiting and seeing what we're able to do. Obviously, I think we want fast action, especially because of what happened in January with Sensi, and I think us, I guess, was being lied to in a sense. And just I think gatekeeping stuff away from us fans, and like you guys know, the Fox's trust and everything, like trying to establish links to kind of know what's going on with the club. And I think the club's even rejecting that at the moment. That's, to me, that's ridiculous. I think there has to be transparency in what's going on right now, and we don't have transparency, and that's just, I think, a joke. Although we're not in England, I think we obviously, as fans, want to know what's going on. We don't want to be kept in the dark. It's like, I think like so many things have happened at the club in the last 2 years that we didn't even know about, and I think that's very unfair to us because we probably thought we had so much money to spend, and I think that's what we all thought, especially with us staying up before we went down, and to know that we were under under PSR problems is just, I think, sad, and maybe one of the key reasons why Enzo decided to go off to Chelsea. So, like I said, I think it's just hopefully waiting. I think Cooper will have his, I think, short list of players that he probably wants. Hopefully, to me, I think it to have this squad work well and for us to be hopeful. I think we just have to hope that the scouting department does their job right and they bring in the right players, and that we're scouting all over the place, not just in Europe, because I think that sometimes we limit ourselves too much to Europe. And I've always thought that scouting in South America or even North America would be interesting, or even go to Asia. I think that there's a lot of players that you could probably find that are good wonder kids or gems that I think people don't know too much about. And I think that to give a punt to certain players, I think isn't a bad thing. I think we've seen it in a model of like Brighton. I think you could also even Forest. I think they went out and signed certain players from the Brazilian league, and I think they most of their players have come good. Although maybe for Forest it was just an influx of crazy amount of players, but yeah, I think it's just seeing what we can do and just trusting what they have in store, as much as I think a lot of us don't really see a way to trust, I think, the board members and everyone and the higher ups at the club.
Yep, spot on, mate. Look, I'll start with what Jeff said. Jeff, Fatari as well is starting to now bother me. I keep hearing talks of we're waiting for the new kit to come out, but if we are to get Moda and this deal gets approved and we see that photo of him saying he's signed and he's holding a shirt up, that puts that to bed. So I'm fairly confident the Fatara deal gets done, but I don't want to be left with egg on my face. Again, Diego, I probably expect maybe one more preseason to get announced. If not, I will be surprised to have the only 2 games.
Yeah.
And I just forgot my train of thought. Sorry. I have faith in Martin Glover and his recruitment, and it's been great. And I do want to see some signings get done soon. Hopefully, up to July 1st, we see some people come in. With the Stefano Sensi thing, how much do you reckon? Maybe also we actually possibly did the right thing because he had that elected surgery after that. So did maybe something come up in the medical that didn't get come up, or did we just stuff around? And probably just stuff it around, to be honest, if you're knowing our board and that much little faith I have in them right now. But I have got faith in Martin Glover and bringing some talent in. Guys, anything else you want to add before we go? Jeff, you want to give a shout out to your channel? Your link is in the title.
Yeah, so pretty much, Fox Report, as you see it there. Hopefully, I have more time to be able to do pre and post match discussions for the upcoming season. But yeah, like I said, man, as of things starting right now, like with the whole KDH thing, like it's I'm surprised to see what happens in the next few weeks.
Spot on, mate. Always good to have you on, Jeff. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it, mate. Diego, anything else you want to add, mate, before you go? Any shout outs?
Yeah, I think obviously to my Twitter at Rody Foxes, I'm always on there just giving my opinions on what I think what's going on around Leicester, and obviously obviously subscribe to Luke. Great content. I enjoy his content, so please guys subscribe to Luke.
Thanks, mate. You're a gentleman. I appreciate that a lot. It was great to have you on, mate. Look forward to having you on again. Guys, if you like this video, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. If not, try and have a good weekend.